The story we are reading is from The People of Kauwerak, written by William Okuilluk and edited by Laurel Bland. We will be reading the text almost verbatim. The only change will be from Eskimo to Iñuit. Iñuit is a term to define indigenous peoples of the circumpolar north. The specific peoples discussed here are the Iñuit of the northwestern part of northern Alaska. It is important to note that Iñuit have been nomadic for millennia, and so although these stories come from northwest Alaska, they are relevant to all of the Iñuit community. Chapter 1. We are of the Iñuit, the northern Eskimos, the first people. Northwestern Alaska was once a very warm country. Alaska was close to the sun. This continent had no winter and was warm always. The Kauwerak Iñuit were very large people. They were also healthy and very strong human beings. They lived long and were happy. They did not wear clothes. They never worried because they had everything they wanted. They did not work in their mines because they did not have to worry or think about how to survive. The Iñuit ancestors were very large in build and very strong in body. The women were built strong in body, like men. Those people did not have to work in their mines to stay alive. That is, they did not have to think about how to make tools or to use their resources around them to survive, or to make themselves comfortable. They had no worries about living. Everything was upon the earth. The sun was warm year-round, and there was no winter time like now. The people lived off the country. Everywhere they went, they could find a place to stay. They used only rafts to go across the rivers and bays. In their time, they never thought about building houses, boats, or other useful things because they did not need them. That is why the old people say the Iñuit ancestors did not use their minds like later times when they invented tools, clothes, houses, boats, and weapons. Before the first disaster, they did not need them. They had all kinds of animals on the land and fishes in the rivers. People in those old days lived a very long time. Many of them lived up to seeing the 5th or 6th generation after them. In those days, the men and women believed that when they died, they went to another world. Those long ago people had a wide nose and mouth and bigger eyes than now. They had hairs on their bodies and long hair on their heads. Their bodies were weather-beaten and brown in color. They did not stay in one place. They had to rove around. The people in those days did not know about ghosts or spirits, and they were never scared either. Those early Iñuit did not need houses to live in. Very few of them lived together. When a son or daughter found someone to become man and wife, they lived with one of their parents until later. When the parents became old, they took care of them. A time came when the people began to notice that the country was not as warm as it used to be. It was still a warm country, but people had to cover more ground to keep living the way they always did. Many years later, they felt the ground shaking. They did not know what it was. It was an earthquake, and the ground cracked and broke up in places. Until this happened, the people did not believe in spirits. They did not even know what a spirit was. When the earthquake happened, the people began to have some worries. Because of the mighty shaking, they began to think there might be some sort of living being or something that got mad or cursed the earth. They thought there might be someone who was punishing them, and there might be someone or something that might help them if they believed in it. From that time on, they began to think of spirits to help them. After the great earthquake, the Iñuit people began to look for others to find out what happened to them. They had a big gathering of people for the first time. The older people talked together and decided they should stay close together from then on. They decided to live in one place together and make a village. Those Iñuit began to think about each other more than before. They began to talk about the resources around them and how they could have things on hand when they were needed. And to look forward, they decided to organize before another disaster came to them. This first village was only one of many that began. The population was great in those days. The Iñuit were so many they had to go many places in order to live.